Welcome to Lento English. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories, slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
1. Introduction. President Donald Trump traveled to a country far away. The country is called Qatar. He arrived in the city of Doha. This visit was a very important event. It was his second time serving as the President of the United States of America. This trip was special for both the United States and for Qatar. People all over the world were watching this visit closely. They felt a lot of anticipation. This means they were waiting with great interest to see what would happen. They knew that President Trump would have important meetings with the leaders of Qatar. These meetings were called high-level talks because the most important people were talking. Everyone expected that important agreements would be signed during this visit. Agreements are like official promises between countries. They explain how the countries will work together on different topics. These topics could include business, helping each other with defense, or other important areas of cooperation. Signing these agreements makes the relationship between the countries stronger and more official. The arrival of President Trump in Doha created a lot of attention in the news. Reports from Doha were on television, the internet, and in newspapers everywhere. The world was watching these important discussions unfold. People wanted to see the outcomes of the meetings. Would the United States and Qatar strengthen their partnership? Would they find new ways to cooperate? President Trump received a warm welcome in Qatar. The leaders there were prepared for the important talks. The atmosphere was full of expectation. People hoped that the visit would lead to good results for both countries. The discussions were planned to cover many different topics of mutual interest. Both nations wanted the visit to be a success. The agreements that were anticipated to be signed were considered very important. They could bring economic benefits to both countries. They could also improve security and cooperation in other areas. When leaders from different nations meet like this, it is a sign that they want to have a positive and strong relationship. This visit was a significant event on the global stage. It highlighted the importance of Qatar to the United States and the importance of the United States to Qatar. The main focus was on the discussions and the potential agreements. People around the world waited eagerly to hear what President Trump and the Qatari leaders would announce after their meetings in Doha. The whole world was paying attention to the news from this important trip. 2. The big meeting. The day for the big meeting arrived. President Trump met with the leader of Qatar. His name is Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. They met in the capital city of Doha. This meeting was very important for both countries. Many people around the world watched and waited to hear what happened. The main goal of this meeting was to make the relationship between the United States and Qatar stronger. They wanted to be better friends and partners. The talks were at a high level. This means important people were in the room discussing serious topics. The feeling in the room was good and positive. It was about working together and finding ways to cooperate. There was an atmosphere of cooperation. Before they signed papers, President Trump and the Emir talked for some time in private. The Emir later said that their conversation was great and very productive. They talked about many important things concerning their countries. They discussed the future of their countries working together. They talked about how their countries can help each other in different areas like business and security. After the private talks, they had a formal ceremony. At this ceremony, they signed many agreements. These were important papers that made their plans official. The agreements covered different things. Some agreements were about buying products, like large airplanes from American companies. Other agreements were about working together on shared interests in the future. They called this joint cooperation. This means they officially agreed to help each other and work on projects together. Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani spoke about the results of the meeting and the signed agreements. He said that these agreements would change things for the better. He stated that the relationship between the United States and Qatar is now at another level. This means he believes the connection is significantly better and stronger than it was before this important meeting. President Trump also shared his thoughts on the meeting and the outcome. He was very happy about the successful meeting and the positive results. He was happy about the new agreements that were signed. He agreed that the partnership between the two countries is becoming much stronger because of this visit to Doha. He said positive things about the deals that were made. He showed that he wanted the things they agreed on to happen quickly. For example, when talking about the order for new planes, he said they should get those planes out there fast. This phrase showed his desire for quick action and tangible results. The big meeting in Doha showed clearly that the two leaders want to work closely together. They want a strong and lasting partnership. They want to make their relationship better in many ways. This meeting was a very important step forward for both the United States and Qatar. It made the connection between the two countries much stronger. It lifted the partnership up. It put it on a new, higher level, just as the Emir described. This was the main and most significant result of the important meeting in Doha. The agreement signed here set the stage for future cooperation and a closer bond. 3. New planes for Qatar. After the important meeting, there was another big event. Qatar decided to buy many new airplanes. This was a very large agreement. The planes will come from an American company called Boeing. President Trump was very happy about this. He stood with the leaders from Qatar and the head of Boeing. The head of Boeing was there for the signing. President Trump spoke about the deal. He said it was good. He wanted the company to make the planes quickly. Buying these planes is important for the United States. It means a lot of work for the Boeing company. When a country buys planes from the U.S., it helps the American economy. It helps people who work at the company keep their jobs or get new jobs. Boeing makes many different kinds of planes. Qatar will buy some of these planes. This agreement shows the strong business relationship between the two countries. It is a big deal for Boeing. It means they will be busy building these new aircraft for Qatar. The agreement was signed after the leaders talked. It was one of the main things that happened during President Trump's visit. It was a clear sign of the cooperation between the United States and Qatar, especially in business and trade. This purchase was a significant moment. It was not just about buying planes. It was also about the connection between the countries. It showed that Qatar wants to do business with American companies. This helps the American economy and the company that makes the planes. The head of the company was smiling. It was a good day for them. The deal was finished and the plan to build the new planes could begin. 4. Friends old and new. The friendship between the United States and Qatar has a long history. It has changed over time. Years ago, the relationship was different. In 2017, President Trump spoke about Qatar. His words were strong. He said that Qatar had in the past given money to groups that cause problems. He said this was a serious issue. But since that time, things have changed a lot. The relationship did not stay the same. It became better and stronger. In 2022, Qatar received a special status from the United States. It was named a major non-NATO ally. This means it is a very important friend country for the US, even though it is not part of NATO. This status shows how much the relationship improved. Qatar is also important because it has a very large US military base. This base is called Al Udeid Air Base. It is one of the biggest US bases in the Middle East. It is a key place for US military work in the area. This base helps the US and Qatar work together closely on important security matters. During the recent visit, the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, talked about the relationship today. He said that the agreements signed have made the friendship even stronger. He used special words. He said the relationship has reached another level. This shows a big change from 2017. The two countries are now working together very closely. They are partners in many areas. The history of the relationship has seen different times, but now the leaders say it is at a new high point. They are focusing on the future together. 5. Worries and questions. The closer relationship between the United States and Qatar was very important. President Trump's visit to Doha and the new agreements they signed showed this clearly. But not everyone in the United States was completely happy about this. Some people had worries and questions about this stronger friendship with Qatar. Officials in the US government had different ideas about the relationship. Some people saw Qatar as a very important partner for the future of the region. Others remembered problems from the past and felt concerned about becoming too close. One person who spoke publicly about his worries was Senator Rick Scott. He is a senator who represents the state of Florida in the U.S. Congress. Senator Scott said he was worried about Qatar's connections to certain groups. He said he was worried that Qatar might support groups that are not friends with the United States. He specifically mentioned the group Hamas. Senator Scott stated that because of these connections, he was worried about the safety of the president during his visit and for future interactions. This showed how much the history of the relationship mattered. It was not always like this. In the year 2017, President Trump had made strong statements about Qatar. He said at that time that Qatar had given money to terrorism at a very high level, but things changed a lot in the years that followed. In the year 2022, under President Joe Biden, Qatar was given a special status. It became a major non-NATO ally of the United States. This is a title that shows a country is a very close friend and military partner for the U.S., even if it is not a member of the NATO military group. Qatar is also very important because it is home to a very large U.S. military base. This base is called Al Udeid Air Base. It is one of the biggest U.S. military bases in the entire Middle East region. It is a very important place for U.S. military operations and strategy in that part of the world. The government administration, led by President Trump, saw Qatar as a strategic partner. This means they believed Qatar was important for U.S. safety, influence, and goals in the Middle East. The agreement signed during President Trump's visit, including the big deal for Boeing planes and agreements for joint cooperation, showed this view. The Emir of Qatar also said that the relationship between the two countries was now on another level. This phrase meant that the friendship and partnership were stronger and more important than they had been before. So there were different perspectives within the U.S. Some people focused on past issues and worried about Qatar's affiliations with certain groups. They questioned if the closer ties were safe. Other people focused on the current partnership, the importance of the military base, and the help Qatar provides to the U.S. Qatar helps the U.S. with important international talks. They help with peace discussions in the region. They also help to free American people who are held by other groups in different countries. For example, Qatar helped to free an American man named George Glesman. He was held in Afghanistan for more than 2 years before being released. Qatar also played a role in talks aimed at freeing people held in the conflict between Israel and Hamas, including helping with talks to free an American man named Eden Alexander. These worries and questions from some officials were part of the overall picture of the relationship. They showed that even with new agreements and a stronger partnership being built, people in the United States had different thoughts and concerns about the relationship with Qatar. It was important to understand these different points of view when looking at the U.S. and Qatar working together. 6. The plane company's story. Boeing is a very big company that makes airplanes. These planes fly all over the world, connecting cities and countries. In recent years, Boeing has faced some difficult times. The company had problems after some accidents with its planes. This meant Boeing had to work very hard to improve its processes, make its planes safer, and regain trust from airlines and travelers. It was a challenging period for the company, and they are still working through some issues. Despite these challenges, there is a very high demand for new airplanes today. Airlines around the world want to update their fleets. They need modern planes that are reliable and can fly long distances efficiently. A major reason for this strong demand is the need for more fuel-efficient aircraft. Newer planes use much less fuel than older models. This saves airlines a significant amount of money on fuel costs, which is a big expense. Also, using less fuel is better for the environment, which is becoming more important for companies. So airlines are very interested in buying these new, efficient jets. In the global market for large commercial airplanes, there are only 2 main companies that build them. Boeing is one of these 2 major players. The other large company is based in Europe. This situation means that Boeing holds a very important position in the industry. Airlines needing new large planes generally choose between Boeing and the other company. There are not many other options for buying these types of aircraft. This creates a kind of 2-company market where both players are essential. Because there is such high demand for new planes, Companies like Boeing are under pressure to build them quickly. However, building an airplane is a very complex and detailed process. It involves putting together millions of parts and requires many skilled workers. It takes a considerable amount of time to make just one plane. Boeing operates large factories and production lines where this work happens. The company is making efforts to speed up these production lines and build more planes each year to keep up with the many orders they receive from airlines around the world. However, increasing production speed in airplane manufacturing is difficult and takes time. There are many factors that can cause delays, such as getting all the necessary parts from different suppliers or ensuring every step meets strict safety standards. So, even though airlines want a large number of new planes delivered quickly, the companies that make them cannot always build them as fast as desired. The business is currently limited more by how quickly planes can be built than by how many airlines want to buy them. Both Boeing and its main competitor are working hard to manage this situation. This high demand and limited production capacity define a significant part of the airplane manufacturing business today, with companies like Boeing focusing on improving their ability to build planes faster and more efficiently while maintaining quality and safety. 7. A special plane for the president. News began to spread. Reports came out saying something interesting. The country of Qatar might offer a special airplane. This plane was a very nice luxury jet. It was a large Boeing 747 plane. The idea was that this plane could be used by the president. It would be used for a short time. It could serve as a temporary Air Force One. This possibility caused people to talk. It brought up questions. Some people thought about if accepting a plane from another country was the right thing to do. These were ethical questions. People also worried about safety and security if the president used this plane. Many people from different political groups spoke against the idea. They pushed back, saying it was not a good plan. However, reports said that President Trump did not seem bothered by these worries. He met the pushback with indifference. This discussion about the Qatar plane happened at a time when there were already issues with the president's official planes. Boeing is working to build 2 new airplanes for the president. These planes are very important. They are sometimes called flying oval offices because the president works on them. But building these new planes has had problems. There have been delays, meaning they are not ready when they should be. Also, the cost of building them has gone up a lot. There have been cost overruns. Media reports have shared that President Trump has felt unhappy about these delays and the high costs for the new official Air Force One planes. So, the idea of Qatar offering a temporary plane became part of the discussion about the president's travel and the problems with the new planes being built by Boeing. This situation added another detail to the relationship between the United States and Qatar during this time. The reports about the potential plane offer continued to be discussed. People wondered what would happen next with the president's planes and the offer from Qatar. The situation highlighted the complexities of presidential travel and international relations. It showed how different issues could become connected. 8. Many deals and future talks. Qatar is important in the world for helping people. It works to find peace and help people who are held against their will. For example, Qatar helped talks between the United States and the Taliban. This helped free an American person who was in prison for more than 2 years in Afghanistan. This shows Qatar's role in difficult situations. It also helped in talks between Israel and Hamas. Qatar worked to help make an agreement for people held by Hamas. These talks happened at the same time as the visit. This shows Qatar helps in different important international talks. During the visit, President Trump and the Emir signed more agreements. One agreement was about buying military planes. Qatar signed a paper saying it wants to buy MQ-9 drone aircraft. These are important planes for looking at areas and for fighting. There was also a general agreement for the two countries to work together more closely in the future. This agreement is called joint cooperation. It means the United States and Qatar will do more things together in different areas. These agreements are in addition to the big deal to buy many Boeing passenger planes, which was also signed at this time. Beyond government work, there is also business. The Trump Organization has business in Qatar too. It made a new deal. This deal is to build a very nice place to play golf. It will be a luxury golf resort. The Trump Organization is working with a company from Qatar called Qatari Dyer. This company is part of Qatar's large money fund. This shows that the connection between the US and Qatar is not only between governments. It also includes business between private companies and Qatari state-backed businesses. All these different things, helping with peace, making military agreements, working together in general and doing business, show the many ways the United States and Qatar are connected. The visit and the agreements show that the relationship is strong and is growing. These talks and deals are important for the future of how the two countries work together. They touch on many different parts of life, from safety and military things to helping people and making money through business projects. These activities together build a complex picture of the relationship.